There we are, on a rock, circling a star, all alone. She tries to nurture us, she tries to show us the way, but we all know it's time to evolve. Humanity's evolution is simply the creation of a comprehensive and interactive plan to reshape a stable economy, recreate politics to be interactive, and rebalance our planetary relationship. The problems are huge, and it's not just pollution, but it's ecological and climate destabilization, toxic waste, landfill, our waste stream, deforestation, desertification, and that's just the beginning. Our governments aren't working properly anymore, and it's not just political polarization, but gridlock. Decisions are occurring way too slow for the need of our countries and the world with our advanced and fast-paced society. Simply stated, our old systems of national and or global decision-making are unable to tackle the biggest 21st century problems. Our economies must be stabilized, and it's not just unemployment and outsourcing. This is not like other recessions. Corporations are having record profits. This is just the beginning of an unstoppable phenomenon of technological unemployment. The problems are immense and they just keep going and going. The solutions are here. Our current system can't deal with today's problems, but we can make it work if we think out of the box and create a comprehensive plan that we can all follow. Our top priority is to reshape a stable economy using technology and innovation. To do this, we need to have the current global economy accept its existing place as a subsidiary of the natural economy. Next, we need to create two subsets of the economy, a natural-based economy for basic life necessities, and a diversified monetary economy for adult money games. For both levels, we need to support a massive increase in innovation and technology using tools like the Job Creation Network, which will be covered further in future episodes. All of these branches of the new economy will work together to balance and stabilize our existing economy and allow it to grow. By ensuring people's basic necessities are met and diversifying both fiat and natural-based currencies, it will stabilize, maximize, and expand the size of the new human economy and meet our needs in abundance while being able to meet the needs of future generations. This new human economy will allow us to rebalance our planetary relationship using technology and innovation. To do this, we need to initiate broad application of integrated sustainable design for all of the resources we produce and use. The key difference? Landfill, which will no longer exist in a natural-based economy. And to create a cyclical resource stream, we convert all landfills to resource cycling centers. As soon as you end the use of landfills, you have to rethink the design of everything. And the first step is scientific studies and analysis, including a global infrastructure survey and a global resource management survey, all of which goes into the life cycle planning of products. So we plan the entire history of a product, including what it will be turned into after it is done being used, before we even make it. This planning and management ensures optimized resource allocation of raw materials, and along with cycled materials, planning, and scientific analysis, we can ensure the most optimized production of goods possible. From there, we ensure optimized distribution, optimized use and long-term maintenance for the longest utility, which brings it back to optimized resource recycling that ends the idea of waste in landfills. We can't learn how to do this overnight, but over time, this can be the standard system that every inventor and product design team follows. Of course, none of this will be possible unless we also recreate our politics to be interactive using innovation and technology. The people of the world can establish the World Declaration of Interdependence as the foundation of global law, which clearly states that the people of the world have and can use their existing right to directly represent themselves in all global decision-making. This manifests with the creation of a grassroots, real-time, direct representative democracy on every level, from local to global. This allows individuals and local communities to have direct representation and involvement in decision-making on all decisions in real time. All of this can be reality within months if people wanted to utilize already existing technology, including the internet and mobile phones. This in no way would replace the existing governance structures, and instead would supplement them by making the existing government structures fully interactive, where the population can be involved in daily polls and advising on every issue at every level. The key difference between the structures are the strict borders and long-term, fixed time intervals for elections, as opposed to open involvement and real-time interactivity. The most important thing to understand, though, is that the new direct representation system is not a fixed structure. It is dynamic, as it creates the other side of a spectrum between the existing structures. Therefore, it is possible to have any combination in between the two systems as well. The introduction of these three proposals give the essence of the comprehensive nature of the plan being created. Of course, there are more details to be explained, and we will present many additional ideas and proposals. Yet some would say, even with little details explained, that this sounds like some utopian idea. This comprehensive plan will be far from a utopia. You see, even if this had all been established, there would still be problems. We will simply be better capable of handling them as a collective global civilization. And then when people actually accept this as a viable proposal, the first thing they ask is, what would it be like to actually live in this new civilization? The answer? Much like what we have now. To explain this, we will use two analogies. Let's start with the Mac-OS analogy. The Mac-OS analogy easily demonstrates the application of transitioning to a new system. Do you remember when Macintosh switched from Mac OS 9 to Mac OS X in 2001? This was the true genius of Steve Jobs. For Mac users, it was a big deal because it improved the user experience. For PC users, it was the definitive moment when the Mac operating system could better communicate with PCs and allow for easier switching. Why? Because Mac OS X was completely rewritten on the Unix coding system instead of Apple's own code. Mac OS Classic had reached its maximum ability to grow and was going to be removed and replaced. But instead of trashing the Mac OS operating system itself, Steve Jobs is next, and then Apple completely rewrote the entire foundational code of Mac OS into Unix. When complete in 2001, Apple released Mac OS X to the public, and although users experienced an enhancement, the miracle of the switchover was how smooth the transition was, because most users didn't even realize that there was a change in the foundational code itself. And that is what we want to do through the transition process when implementing this comprehensive plan. System 9 being based on our current political laws and codes, and System X being based on the real laws of nature that everyone has to follow. It is really that simple. And it doesn't need to take a long time to make the transition. And if we do it right, most people across the world won't even realize the transition has happened. You will see that the current system you know and understand how to use will become increasingly more stable with an enhanced user experience. In other words, if we just replicate what Steve Jobs did to Apple computers with our entire civilization, Steve Jobs may have indirectly saved humanity itself. And that brings us to our second analogy. A simple example of the enhanced user experience can be explained with the Civilization Club analogy. Remember way back in the day when you or your parents used to go to the supermarket and there were only name brands available? Now you go to the supermarkets and they have store clubs where you get a deal on buying generic products financed by the grocery store itself instead of buying the name brands. In a natural-based economy, instead of just name brands and store-made products, you also have a third category, the civilization-made product. Our entire unified global civilization will actually make essential products for basic life necessities that will be produced and distributed globally as efficient and effectively as possible, therefore making the cheapest possible product to buy. Over time, you will see the Civilization Club products on your grocery shelves. As these products are made in increasing levels of abundance and with the most efficient production and distribution possible, they will become cheaper and cheaper. Yet for those who still want their store-made products or name brands, you can still buy those too. So it's a win-win situation for everybody. Will there be other things that change too? Yes, the Civilization Club won't be the only new addition, but changes will happen gradually and comfortably, and over time, we won't have to work as much because automated machines will be doing more and more, and the average time humans have to work will become less, so we can spend more time with our friends and family. Coming up in part 2, we're going to talk a little about the history of the transformation movement, how and why money is a game, technological unemployment and the need for innovation, and much, much more. Thank you for watching. Ding, 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 ding.